Many people think a rock band needs a lot of members to sound powerful, but these bands proved exactly the opposite. With just 3 musicians, they filled stadiums, broke the mold, and left behind eternal classics. Today, we discover the 15 most legendary power trios in rock history and their most played song worldwide. Stay until the end, because number 1 had at the front one of the greatest guitarists of all time. Let's begin. Number 15, Budgie most played song, Bread Fan, 1973. Cardiff, Wales, 1967. 3 men, 1 remote hut. Amplifiers cranked to levels that made the walls vibrate. Burke Shelley played bass and sang lead vocals. His bass lines were melodic and aggressive simultaneously, functioning as a second lead voice rather than simply a rhythm instrument. Tony Borge played guitar, heavy, angular, ahead of his time, drawing from blues and hard rock, and combining them into something with no existing category. Ray Phillips played drums, physical, relentless, locking in with Shelley's bass to create a foundation that could hold any weight Borge placed on top of it. Their debut was produced by Roger Bain, the exact same man who had just recorded Black Sabbath's first 2 albums. That one fact tells you everything about the sonic world Budgie were building. Their most played song is Bread Fan, recorded in 1973 for their 3rd album, Never Turn Your Back on a Friend. The riff opens like a fist hitting a concrete wall. It drops into a haunting, slow middle section, deliberate and patient, before erupting back into full attack. Burke Shelley explained the title simply. Back then, bread was British slang for money. A bread fan was someone consumed by its pursuit. Savage commentary on greed, wrapped in 3 minutes of sonic destruction. On Spotify today, Bread Fan is Budgie's most streamed track by a significant margin. The song new listeners find first, and the song that has carried the band's name across 4 decades. In 1988, Metallica recorded Bread Fan as the B-side to Harvester of Sorrow, included it on their 1998 covers album Garage Inc., and used it as a live encore throughout their entire 1988 to 1989 world tour. Lars Ulrich visited Budgie personally whenever Metallica toured the UK. Iron Maiden Steve Harris named them a direct influence on his bass style. Soundgarden covered them. Van Halen recorded their songs. Budgie never sold out arenas, but every band that did kept returning to their music like it was private source code. Did you know about Budgie before today? Drop it in the comments. Number 14, 10 years after most played song, I'd Love to Change the World, 1971. August 17, 1969. Woodstock. 500,000 people in a field in upstate New York. Alvin Lee played guitar and sang lead vocals. His picking speed was so extraordinary that Frank Zappa called him the fastest fingers in rock, and the Woodstock film crew literally could not stop their cameras when he performed. Leo Lyons played bass, the quiet engine of the band, holding the bottom end with precision, while Lee took the music to extremes above him.
Life is funny, skies are sunny, bees make honey.
Rick Lee played drums, a jazz-influenced player who gave the band its swing and prevented their blues rock from ever becoming purely mechanical. 8 consecutive UK Top 40 albums between 1968 and 1973. 12 US Billboard 200 entries. But the song that outlived everything, still streaming today, still appearing in films 5 decades later, is I'd Love to Change the World, released in 1971.
Hey, honey,
It is their most played and most streamed song worldwide by a massive margin. Their only US top 40 hit, peaking at number 40 on the Billboard Hot 100. A 2015 remix alone generated 32 million Spotify plays and 85 million YouTube views. Alvin Lee wrote it as an honest meditation on a broken world, Vietnam still burning, inequality untouched, the 1960s dream officially dead, and at the end he wrote the most honest lyric of his career. I'd love to change the world, but I don't know what to do, so I'll leave it up to you. No false hope, no empty protest, just raw, uncomfortable truth. Lee died in 2013. That song has never stopped playing for a single day since 1971.
Before we get back to the music, take 1 second to hit that subscribe button. Most people who watch these videos aren't subscribed yet, and that means a lot of fans enjoying the music without being part of the community. If you love classic rock, legendary guitar riffs, and the songs that shaped generations, this channel was made for you. Every video takes time, research, and passion to bring these memories back to life. So if the music means something to you, subscribe and help keep rock alive right here on this channel. Now let's get back to the music.
Number 13, Mountain, most played song, Mississippi Queen, 1970. Close your eyes and hear that cowbell. If you know that cowbell, you already know everything about this band. New York, 1969. Leslie West played guitar and sang lead vocals. His tone was enormous, his vibrato instantly recognizable, his phrasing rooted in the Mississippi Delta blues, but filtered through a New York intensity that made everything feel dangerous. Felix Pappalardi played bass. He had just produced Cream's Disraeli Gears and Wheels of Fire, and brought that production intelligence directly into his playing, understanding exactly how the low end needed to behave to make West's guitar sound as massive as possible. Corky Lang played drums, groove-driven, relentless, rooted in rock and blues, providing the physical foundation that held everything together. Their third ever concert was Woodstock. Mississippi Queen is their most played song worldwide, hitting number 21 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1970, and never leaving classic rock radio for over 50 years. Guitar Magazine named it one of the 50 heaviest riffs of all time. The cowbell story is fully documented. Lang developed the riff during a power cut at a gig, keeping the audience from leaving by hammering a cowbell, specifically to keep one woman dancing in the emergency lighting. He hollered, "Mississippi Queen, do you know what I mean?" into the dark. That spontaneous moment became the entire identity of the song. Ozzy Osbourne covered it in 2005, with West himself on guitar. It appeared in Guitar Hero 3 and The Expendables. Half a century later, it still sounds like something about to collapse on top of you. Number 12, Blue Cheer most played song, Summertime Blues, 1968.
well, if you wanna use a car to go riding next Sunday.
San Francisco, 1966. The summer of love was blooming. Flowers, peace signs, gentle music everywhere. Blue Cheer looked at all of it and deliberately did the complete opposite. Dickie Peterson played bass and sang lead vocals. His vocal delivery was raw and aggressive, matching the sonic violence of everything happening around him. Lee Stevens played guitar. His approach was pure overdriven assault, treating distortion not as an effect, but as the entire foundation of his sound. Paul Whaley played drums, powerful, thunderous, driving the band forward with a physicality that matched the extreme volume they operated at. Named after a potent strain of LSD created by Owsley Stanley, the same man who funded the Grateful Dead. When they entered the studio in 1967, their volume physically blew out the studio speakers mid-session. Engineers stopped, repaired everything, and began again. Their debut album, Vinspus Eruptum, released January 1968, is recognized as one of the founding documents of heavy metal. Recorded before the genre even had a name, Summertime Blues is their most played song worldwide. Originally a cheerful 1958 Eddie Cochran complaint about a teenager with no summer free time, Blue Cheer buried it under so much distortion and feedback, it emerged sounding like a building collapsing in slow motion. It peaked at number 14 on the Billboard Hot 100. Geddy Lee publicly called it the first heavy metal song to ever chart. Eric Clapton called Blue Cheer the probable originators of heavy metal. Jim Morrison called their live show the single most powerful he had ever seen. Rush covered it on their 2004 EP Feedback as a direct tribute. Three men who blew up studio speakers and accidentally invented an entire genre while receiving almost none of the credit. Still ahead, a guitarist so extraordinary that Eric Clapton watched him perform and went home that same night, questioning whether he should ever play music again. Do not go anywhere. Number 11. Grand Funk Railroad most played song. We're an American Band, 1973. This entry is here because your community demanded it, and the history books back them up completely. Flint, Michigan, 1969. Mark Farner played guitar and sang lead vocals. An explosive frontman who combined raw energy with genuine melodic instinct, giving the band its emotional center and its physical intensity on stage. Don Brewer played drums and also sang. His voice was powerful enough to handle lead vocal duties on several tracks, making him one of the rare drummers in rock history who could legitimately front a song from behind the kit. Mel Shocker played bass. His style was aggressive and distorted, sitting closer to a rhythm guitar than a traditional bass, giving the trio a thickness of sound that made them feel far larger than three people. Critics dismissed them. Rolling Stone ignored them. Radio programmers refused their records. The people had a completely different opinion. In 1971, Grand Funk sold out Shea Stadium. 55,000 tickets gone in under 72 hours, matching the Beatles' record at that same venue in 1965. Between 1969 and 1975, they released 6 platinum albums and 7 gold albums. In 1969, opening for Led Zeppelin in Detroit, they played with such raw force that Zeppelin's manager Peter Grant reportedly had Grand Funk's PA killed mid-song. You do not cut a band's sound during a show unless they are making your headliner look completely insufficient. In 1973, Todd Rundgren produced We're an American Band in 3 days at Criteria Studios in Miami. Don Brewer wrote it from real road stories, hotel nights, the grind of a band that never stopped moving. Capitol Records heard it and started jumping up and down. It hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in September 1973 and has remained a classic rock radio staple for over 50 years. We're an American Band is their most played and most recognized song worldwide. Your viewer was right. Grand Funk Railroad belongs on this list. Number 10. Taste. Rory Gallagher. Most played song, Same Old Story, 1970. Cork, Ireland, 1966. Rory Gallagher played guitar and sang lead vocals. He was one of the most physically intense guitar players who ever lived, approaching the instrument with a combination of technical mastery and raw emotional honesty that very few musicians in any genre have ever matched.
No one to build. Same old story.
Richard McCracken played bass. His role was to anchor Gallagher's flights of improvisation, providing a solid rhythmic and harmonic foundation that gave the guitar complete freedom to go wherever it needed to go.
Same old story.
John Wilson played drums, driving, energetic, pushing the band forward with an urgency that matched the ferocity of Gallagher's playing perfectly. Gallagher bought a second-hand 1961 Fender Stratocaster for £60, all he could afford. He played that same battered guitar every night for the rest of his life, until the lacquer wore completely away down to bare wood. Same Old Story is their most played song worldwide, a relentless six-note riff built into a full-throttle blues rocker that launched Gallagher into the most breathtaking solos of his career every time they performed it. It was their standard show closer. The one song that never failed to reduce any room to complete rubble. In 1968, just 2 years after forming, Eric Clapton personally requested Taste to open Cream's farewell concerts at the Royal Albert Hall. Every musician in Britain wanted that stage. Clapton chose a 22-year-old Irishman with a 60-pound guitar. At the Isle of Wight festival director Murray Lerner arrived to film Hendrix, but kept his camera on Taste the entire set. Rory Gallagher died June 14, 1995. He was 47. The streets of Cork lined for miles. A city stopped for a man with a 60-pound guitar. What were you doing the first time Rory Gallagher hit you? Drop it in the comments. Number 9. Triumph. Most played song. Magic Power, 1981. Toronto, 1975. Rick Emmett played guitar and sang lead vocals. Classically trained, capable of writing arena-filling hard rock riffs and fragile acoustic ballads in the same afternoon. With a vocal range and tone that gave Triumph a melodic sophistication most hard rock bands could not match. Mike Levine played bass and operated keyboards simultaneously. He filled the harmonic space that most power trios left completely empty, making Triumph sound larger and more complete than a standard three-piece. Gil Moore played drums and also sang lead vocals, one of the rarest abilities in rock, a drummer who could handle full lead vocal duties credibly and consistently night after night across an entire career. Magic Power from their 1981 album Allied Forces is their most played song, confirmed as the most widely played Triumph track on US classic rock radio today. Allied Forces sold over 1 million copies in America. Magic Power reached number 8 on the Billboard Mainstream Rock Tracks chart. Emmett wrote it about himself at 9 years old, with a transistor radio pressed to his ear in the dark, waiting for a DJ to play his favorite song. He said, "If there had never been a Pete Townsend Won't Get Fooled Again, Magic Power might never have been born. In Canada, legends. In America, significant. In Europe, invisible. History was deeply unfair to this band. But Magic Power plays on classic rock radio somewhere in North America every single day without stopping." That quiet daily permanence is a form of immortality very few bands ever achieve. If this list is showing you bands you never knew, subscribe. This channel was built exactly for this. Number 8. Motorhead. Most played song. Ace of Spades, 1980. 1975. Lemmy Kilmister got fired from Hawkwind after a Canadian border arrest. Most people at 30 with no band and an arrest record would reconsider their direction.
You know I'm going to lose. Got plans for fools, but
Lemmy formed Motorhead the same year without a single moment of hesitation. Lemmy played bass and sang lead vocals, but he did not play bass the way bassists play bass. He ran it through Marshall guitar amplifiers cranked until they distorted, cutting through everything above rather than sitting underneath it, making his bass function as a rhythm guitar and a lead instrument simultaneously.
take a split. The ace of spades. The ace of spades.
Fast Eddie Clarke played guitar. Focused, aggressive, unsmiling, playing with a directness that never tried to be clever or sophisticated, and was more devastating because of it. Phil Filthy Animal Taylor played drums. His style was described by multiple musicians as hitting harder than seemed physically possible, providing the engine that drove everything forward at a velocity most bands could not maintain. Together, they created a sound with no existing category. Too raw for metal, too heavy for punk, too rock and roll for anyone to contain. Ace of Spades is their most played song worldwide, over 300 million Spotify streams. Recorded in August 1980 with producer Vic Mailey, who had previously worked with Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, and The Who. Rolling Stone ranked it the third greatest heavy metal song of all time.
Pushing up the ante. I know you got to see.
It appears in Superbad, Ford v Ferrari, Daredevil Season 2, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, and Triple H's WWE entrance. Lemmy confirmed in a published Mojo interview that for 2 full years he sang the 8 of Spades instead of the Ace of Spades in his own song. Nobody caught it for 24 consecutive months. When Lemmy died December 28, 2015, fans pushed it back onto the UK charts, 2 positions higher than its original 1980 peak. The man was gone. The song was still climbing. Number 7. The Police. Most played song. Every Breath You Take. 1983. Three musicians from completely different worlds who accidentally made the most played song in the entire history of radio. Stuart Copeland played drums. American-born, raised in Beirut as the son of a CIA officer. His rhythmic instincts were built from jazz, rock, and Arabic music absorbed growing up in the Middle East, giving him a style unlike any other rock drummer of his generation. Sting played bass and sang lead vocals. Jazz-trained, a former school teacher from Newcastle, his bass lines were melodic enough to carry entire songs on their own, and his voice had no comparison on British radio. Andy Summers played guitar, a veteran of Soft Machine and The Animals, 34 years old when the Police formed, experienced enough to know exactly what not to play, and that deliberate, disciplined restraint became the band's greatest weapon. By 1983, Sting's marriage had collapsed. He retreated to Ian Fleming's Goldeneye estate in Jamaica, the same desk where the creator of James Bond had written his novels. A line arrived fully formed in the middle of the night. He went to the piano. Every Breath You Take was finished in 30 minutes. Summers recorded his entire guitar part in one single take. Every Breath You Take is their most played song worldwide. The most played song in the entire history of radio according to BMI's official 2019 certification, with nearly 15 million documented plays, 8 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, 2 Grammys. In 2025, it cracked Spotify's global top 50, streaming over 2 million times per day more than 40 years after release. Sting has spent 4 decades explaining it is not a love song, a stalker's monologue dressed as a ballad. The world played it at weddings. Sting heard something cold and has never stopped saying so. Number 6. ZZ Top, most played song, La Grange, 1973. Houston, Texas, 1969. Billy Gibbons played guitar and sang lead vocals. He had just spent 50 nights side of stage watching Jimi Hendrix on tour, absorbing every detail of what the most gifted guitarist alive was doing. And he came out of those nights knowing exactly what he wanted to build.
You got the time and the
His tone became one of the most distinctive in rock history. Warm, thick, bluesy, and completely his own. Dusty Hill played bass and sang. His voice was as deep and unhurried as the Texas heat, and his bass playing was the rhythmic and harmonic anchor that gave Gibbons' guitar complete freedom to roam. Frank Beard played drums. His pocket was so locked it sounded almost mechanical, until you listened close enough to realize it was completely alive and breathing, providing the groove foundation that made ZZ Top's music feel simultaneously tight and loose. La Grange is their most played song worldwide, sitting at 814 million Spotify streams, highest in their entire catalog by a massive margin. Built on a John Lee Hooker shuffle, inspired by a real Texas brothel called the Chicken Ranch that operated quietly for 70 years before this song accidentally exposed and permanently closed it.
Grange, you know what I'm talking about.
Never cracked the Billboard Top 40. Became one of the most recognizable guitar riffs in history regardless. 15 studio albums, 50 million records sold. Guinness World Record for longest running unchanged lineup. Dusty Hill died in 2021 and left one instruction. His guitar tech Elwood Francis takes his place. The band obeyed without hesitation. 50 years, 3 people, 1 covenant. Number 5. Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble, most played song, Pride and Joy, 1983. Your community demanded this entry. The history of the electric guitar demands it louder. Stevie Ray Vaughan played guitar and sang lead vocals. Guitar World ranked him the greatest blues guitarist of all time. Rolling Stone placed him 7th among the 100 greatest guitarists ever. And everyone who ever saw him perform live described the experience as something that permanently changed their understanding of what the instrument could do. Tommy Shannon played bass. His role was to lock in with Layton and provide the rhythmic foundation that gave Vaughan's guitar complete freedom, and his chemistry with Layton was so tight that together they functioned almost as a single instrument. Chris Layton played drums. His Texas shuffle feel was the perfect match for Vaughan's style, rooted in the same blues tradition, driving the music forward with a groove that felt natural and inevitable. At Montreux 1982, no album, no deal, no name outside Texas. Vaughan played with such devastating authority that David Bowie hired him on the spot to play every lead guitar note on Let's Dance, which sold over 10 million copies. Vaughan then walked away from Bowie's stadium tour to stay loyal to Double Trouble. He turned down one of the biggest commercial opportunities in rock music to remain with his trio. That single decision defines who he was. Pride and Joy is their most played song worldwide, played on his #1 Stratocaster through an Ibanez TS-808 into a Dumble amplifier borrowed from Jackson Browne. It announced to the world that real blues guitar was not dead. 15 million US album sales. He died August 27, 1990 in a helicopter crash. He was 35. 7 years of recording. He changed everything. Number 4. Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Most played song, Lucky Man, 1970. No guitarist, just keyboards, bass, drums, and voice, attempting near symphonic complexity, with 3 people and no safety net. Keith Emerson played keyboards, from the Nice, notorious for stabbing his Hammond organ with knives on stage during performances, as an organ as instruments capable of everything an orchestra could do and more. Greg Lake played bass and sang lead vocals. From King Crimson, his voice was one of the most beautiful in progressive rock, and his bass playing was melodic and precise, providing the harmonic and rhythmic foundation beneath Emerson's enormous keyboard architecture, rather than purely rhythmic. Treating the kit as an instrument capable of expressing melody and drama, their second ever concert was at the Isle of Wight Festival, in front of 600,000 people. Lucky Man is their most played song. Then Emerson sat at his barely learned Moog synthesizer while the studio tape happened to be rolling. Nobody told him. Synthesizer solo closing Lucky Man, one of the earliest uses of the Moog in rock history, captured entirely by accident. A 12-year-old's first song, an accidental recording. Number 3. Rush most played song, Tom Sawyer, 1981. Toronto, 1968. After their debut album, drummer John Rutsey left due to health complications. In 1974, Neil Peart auditioned. He set up his kit. He played. They hired him before the audition ended. Alex Lifeson played guitar. His style combined hard rock aggression with harmonic sophistication, covering the melodic and rhythmic ground that would normally require multiple players. And his ability to shift between heavy riffing and delicate textural playing gave Rush a dynamic range that few trios could match. Geddy Lee played bass and sang lead vocals while simultaneously operating synthesizers with his feet. His bass lines were among the most melodically complex in rock history. His vocals divided opinion permanently with their extraordinary upper register, and his ability to perform multiple roles simultaneously made him one of the most complete musicians in rock. Neil Peart played drums and wrote all the band's lyrics. A reader who carried books everywhere, processing science fiction, philosophy, mythology, and Ayn Rand, and channeling it all into lyrics about individualism and free will that millions of people had been carrying in silence without ever finding a band to articulate them. Tom Sawyer is their most played song worldwide. Number 31 on the 2025 Global Classic Rock Radio Top 500. Over 400 million Spotify streams, more than double any other Rush song. The line, "No, his mind is not for rent to any god or government," was Peart's own private conviction, broadcast to millions across 4 decades. Peart died January 7, 2020, after a private battle with brain cancer. Rush ended permanently that morning. Tom Sawyer plays somewhere in the world every hour of every day, because some songs are not just songs, they are permission. Number 2. Cream most played song, Sunshine of Your Love, 1967. London, 1966. 3 men who had no business being in the same room formed a band and permanently changed rock music in 2 years before tearing each other irreparably apart. Eric Clapton played guitar, a man fans had spray-painted God on walls for when he left the Yardbirds. His playing was the emotional and technical center of Cream, responding in real time to everything Baker and Bruce did, and elevating it into something greater than any of them could achieve alone. Ginger Baker played drums, jazz-trained, treating the kit as a full compositional instrument rather than a rhythm machine. His drumming was as melodically expressive as the guitar, and his two bass drum setup gave Cream a thunderous physical presence that no other rock band of the era could match. Jack Bruce played bass and sang lead vocals. Classically trained, his bass lines were as melodically complex as Clapton's guitar, operating on an orchestral level, and his voice had a raw emotional power that perfectly matched the music's intensity. I'll be with you, darling. Baker and Bruce genuinely hated each other. Physical confrontations, sustained contempt neither ever disguised. They entered the arrangement with open eyes. The music would be extraordinary. Everything else would be war. In January 1967, Bruce and Clapton attended a Hendrix concert at the Saville Theatre. What Hendrix did hit Bruce so immediately, he went home and wrote a bass riff as a direct tribute. He and lyricist Pete Brown worked through the entire night. When dawn came, Brown said, "It's getting near dawn." That became the opening line. Sunshine of Your Love is their most played song worldwide. 475 million Spotify streams. Rolling Stones, 65th greatest song ever recorded. When Hendrix heard Cream was disbanding, he played it on live television as a farewell, never knowing he was the reason it existed. Cream lasted 2 years. Nothing in the following 50 surpassed them. Number 1. The Jimi Hendrix Experience most played song, All Along the Watchtower, 1968. Seattle, 1942. James Marshall Hendrix taught himself guitar on a one-string ukulele found in the trash. No lessons, no money, no connections, just music, and the absolute uncompromising need to understand it. Jimi Hendrix played guitar and sang lead vocals. There is no adequate description for what he did with the electric guitar that does not sound like exaggeration, so the facts will have to speak for themselves. He invented a new language for the instrument using wah-wah, feedback, and distortion not as effects but as vocabulary. And every electric guitarist who came after him, every single one on this list included, is playing in a world he created. Noel Redding played bass. His role was to provide the harmonic and rhythmic foundation that gave Hendrix complete freedom to go wherever his guitar needed to go, anchoring the music while everything above it operated at the edge of controlled chaos. Mitch Mitchell played drums. Jazz-trained, his improvisational instincts matched Hendrix's unpredictable guitar perfectly, making their interaction feel simultaneously composed and completely spontaneous in the same moment. In 1966, Chaz Chandler flew to New York, watched Hendrix perform one set, and brought him to London immediately. Within weeks, Hendrix sat in with Cream. Eric Clapton watched him play and walked off stage in genuine documented shock, confirming publicly that night made him question whether he should continue playing music at all. The greatest guitarist in Britain watched Hendrix perform and went home considering quitting forever. All Along the Watchtower is their most played song worldwide. Bob Dylan's song, rebuilt by Hendrix so completely that Dylan himself said it overwhelmed him, and has performed Hendrix's arrangement exclusively since 1974, never once returning to his own original version. 862 million Spotify streams, nearly double second-place Purple Haze at 417 million. The most streamed rock song from the entire 1960s on Spotify. Not just the most streamed Hendrix song, the most streamed rock song from an entire decade. Hendrix died September 18, 1970. He was 27, less than 4 years as a recording artist. Every distorted riff, every wah-wah cry, every bent note you have heard since that morning is an answer to what he started and never got to finish. Blue Cheer built their identity on the permission he gave the world to play at maximum volume. Cream wrote "Sunshine of Your Love" the night Jack Bruce came home from watching him play. ZZ Top's Billy Gibbons stood side of stage, absorbing 50 nights of watching him on tour. Rush cited him as foundational. Taste shared stages with him and were permanently changed. Motorhead's Lemmy called him unreachable. Grand Funk Railroad worshipped every note he played. Stevie Ray Vaughan learned his tone, note by note, before finding his own voice through it. Every single band on this list carries his fingerprints. Every one of them. That is not influence. That is foundation. That is number one. 15 bands. 15 most played songs. 15 proofs that 3 people with enough talent, trust, and sometimes enough genuine hatred for each other can build things entire orchestras spend decades trying to replicate. From 3 men in Cardiff who gave Metallica their greatest cover song, to a 12-year-old's first chords accidentally recorded into progressive rock history, to 30 minutes at a dead man's desk that produced the most played song in radio history, to a man who learned on a 1-string ukulele and rewrote everything in less than 4 years. These are the real stories underneath the songs you have been hearing your whole life, and now you will never hear them the same way again. That is what this channel was built to give you. Which power trio did history treat most unfairly? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Subscribe, because next time we go inside the real stories behind rock albums that will make the music hit harder than it ever has before. I will see you there.